He suddenly fainted on the tracks while waiting for the train, and instead of helping, the people around him took out their phones to film. Only an elderly man named Ove didn't hesitate to jump onto the tracks to rescue him, but Ove was old and not strong enough. Fortunately, everyone soon came to their senses and worked together to pull the man to safety. The train was about to arrive, yet Ove silently walked toward the center of the tracks. No matter how others tried to persuade him, he stood still. It turned out he was the one who wanted to end his life. Suddenly, Ove turned and saw a little boy watching him. Worried that his actions would traumatize the child, he immediately grabbed a passerby's hand and climbed back up. Everyone was confused and criticized him for his behavior, but Ove just silently turned and left without explaining. 6 months earlier, Ove's wife of many years passed away from cancer, leaving him devastated. To numb the pain, he threw himself into work, but 2 young managers at the factory deliberately made things difficult for him. Seeing through it all, Ove chose to resign. Having lost everything, he felt hopeless and decided to end his life to be with his wife. He put on his tie, changed into the blue suit his wife loved most, and after making sure everything was in order, walked into the living room, where a rope was already hanging from the ceiling. Without hesitation, he stepped onto a stool, put his head through the noose and closed his eyes, waiting for the end. Suddenly, a loud noise from outside startled him. Annoyed, Ove took off the rope and rushed out to see what happened. It turned out his new neighbors had accidentally damaged his mailbox. The couple had just moved in, and the husband was struggling to park the car. Though Ove complained, he still helped them park properly before hurriedly returning home to continue his plan. But just as he put the rope around his neck again, 2 children appeared outside the window. Afraid of frightening them, Ove quickly put away the rope, forcing him to postpone his plan. The next day, Ove visited his wife's grave as usual to replace the flowers and apologized for standing her up the day before. Back home, he closed the blinds and prepared to try again. Then the doorbell rang. Ove ignored it and kicked away the stool, but the ringing persisted. Unable to bear it, he grumbled and opened the door to find Parvana's 2 children. To thank him for helping with the parking, Parvana had made chicken rice and sent the kids to deliver it. They also asked to borrow a ladder. Ove reluctantly complained about the inconvenience but still lent them the ladder. Just then, another neighbor passed by and unintentionally mentioned Ove's late wife. Enraged, Ove yelled at them and sent them away. Since his wife's passing, this had become a subject he couldn't bear to discuss. Back inside, he collapsed into his chair exhausted. The photo of his wife on the wall reminded him of the promise he had made to her. Wherever she was, he would be with her. Now was the time to fulfill that promise. He put the rope around his neck again, closed his eyes, and without hesitation kicked away the stool. As death approached, memories flooded back. He returned to his childhood. Ove's mother had passed away early, and his father was a railway worker. Like most fathers, he was a man of few words but taught Ove many things and loved him deeply. Later, however, his father also died in an accident. That day, Ove happily showed his father his report card. His father was proud and was about to show it off to his colleagues when he was tragically hit by an oncoming train. Once again, Ove lost a loved one. All his father left him was a job as a maintenance worker and an empty house. Not long after, developers began eyeing Ove's property. One night, his neighbor's house suddenly caught fire. Everyone stood by and watched, but Ove rushed into the burning building without hesitation and saved 2 neighbors. When he tried to go back, however, he found his own house had also been set ablaze. The fire was initially small, and the firefighters could have put it out, but a powerful developer stopped them. Ove could only watch as his home burned to the ground. Left homeless, he slept on trains to get by. One early morning, he woke up drowsily and saw a young woman reading a book across from him. Ove wanted to ask her where the train was headed when suddenly the ticket inspector arrived. Penniless, he had no idea what to do. Sonia noticed his distress and kindly paid for his ticket. They chatted briefly, exchanging names. When the train reached the station, Ove got off. That was their first meeting. Though brief, Ove could never forget her. To see Sonia again, he took the same train every day, hoping to meet her. 3 weeks later, he finally did. Gradually, they grew closer, eventually leading to a marriage proposal at a restaurant. Suddenly, a loud noise snapped Ove back to reality. The rope had broken. Once again, his suicide attempt had failed. Furious, he took the rope and went to confront the store clerk, who asked him what the rope was for. Ove couldn't answer, so he went home. But he hadn't given up on ending his life.